So I'm here to talk to you about being a student mum. I mean, it's really, really, really difficult to start with. Um, I mean, it is a brilliant thing, and you should never give up on anything that you want to do. A lot of people assumed that when I was going to have a child, I was still in college. They assumed that I would drop out of college. They didn't think that I would go to university, and they generally thought that I'd mess my life up. I'm going to be a mother on benefits, working in a normal shop once my child's in school. Um, and I made it my mission to prove everyone wrong. I like to think of this video as more of a way of me telling you um, the realities of it, and where you can find the support, and where you can, and you know, you're not the only person here that's struggling. Like, I struggle from time to time. So I'll start from the beginning. I mean, you first start at uni, you start at university or college, or even if you're still in school, it is hard because you don't have much time. You don't have um like you don't have time after school, university, or college to socialize with your friends, and you don't have time to join in the things that your friends are doing, which is really hard on the social aspect of your life. When it comes down to work, you literally have between the hours of 9 and 3 or 9 and 5, depending on your nursery hours, literally within that time frame is the only time you can work. After then, when everyone else decides, oh, well, we'll just do it later, or they'll do it just before they go to bed, it's difficult. You can't. By the time you've done your entire day, doing it at night once the children are in bed, nope, no, tired, sleep, that's it. Or if it's not that, after having a whole long day, you wake up and you get your children ready, you get yourself ready, you have breakfast in the morning. By the time you've done all that, left, pack your bags, left, got the bus to the nursery or to the university, then spend a whole day in university doing work, finish at 5, go pick your child up, 5 o'clock, and then by the time you've done that, then you get back on the bus again, you get back home. It's pushing 6 o'clock by the time you get home, and then you've got to eat dinner. You finally get home, you cook, you try and do a few chores around the house, try and maintain something, and then by the time you've done all that, you still haven't really had much time to even sit down with your child. Your child's probably sitting there watching TV or something like that. And by the time you've eaten, by the time you've done some of your chores, then you have to get your child ready for bed. I have my child go to bed at 7 o'clock, between 7 and 8. They're in bed. That time, I'm like, okay, I'll run around and I'll do the things that I can't really do with the child running under my feet. And then no time for work. Like, it is pushing 9 o'clock. I haven't sat down all day, haven't had to have a rest, haven't been able to watch my favourite show or do anything that's for me and have me time. But then the way I deal with that, because it's not like that every single day, and the way I deal with it is that luckily, I have a good support system around me. So I have my mother that helps me out. So every Thursday, I like to go to dancing or something. So I'll ask my mum if she would sometimes pick my child up off from nursery, and if she could do that for me, brilliant. It gives me a little extra time to myself, either to finish off just the work that I'm doing without having to rush, or to go home, get myself ready, go out to dancing, do something for me, even just go home, have a bath. Have a bath without a child running in every 2 minutes. Children are very demanding, and it's very nice to have a bath without a child around. So sometimes I'm very lucky to have my mum around that will do the things for me, look after my child for an evening. And when my child's in nursery and I don't happen to be at university at the same time, I like to do other things, like, if I have time, I like to go to yoga, and that helps me kind of de-stress and unwind. It's another thing that I can do for myself so that I'm not constantly on the go all the time. Being on the go all the time does drain a person. Having to juggle not only university, but then having a child as well, I did have a little voluntary job at the side. It was so difficult to juggle all three, do all three, which require a lot of work. So I go to dancing on Thursday nights and I go to yoga on Monday mornings. And then every fortnight, my mum's a brilliant woman and she babysits for me. And that's just like keeping that routine each day is very important. Like making sure you're in a routine with the time you get up and you get ready, you take your child to nursery, and then do what you need to do within that time frame between 9 and 5. Whatever work that needs doing, make sure you're organized, because if you ain't organized, then it is very difficult to try and keep on top. And you can I definitely have times where I have broken down and I am tired and I don't know what to do with myself. I feel like quitting everything sometimes. Just keep that, or keep organized, keep a list, keep a diary, keep something, make sure that you have everything that you need to do outlined and in written format. I find from my mind to paper, if I put it down, it's in written format. I don't have to remember it then. I don't have to keep thinking about it. But then, as much as you do things for yourself and you're doing things for your child all day, every day, and you're doing your work all day, every day, don't forget to have fun and have a social life. You can have fun with your child. Don't forget that even though you might not get to spend all so much time with them throughout the week because of the busy schedule, make sure at the weekends you don't get frustrated with your child because you feel so like they demand so much from you. Don't get so frustrated and don't get worked up about it, but remember just to have fun with it. Like, I go out on little day trips with me and my son all the time, and we have a lot of bonding time like that, and I take him out to places he might like we went to the butterfly farm, and we went to Bournemouth Beach, and it was very lovely. Like, you know, it was just me and him, and that was important for me, for my son to know that he can still bond with me, even leading the busy, hectic lives that we live. And then, as far as a social life goes, that is when you need a good balance. So you can't be working, doing things for yourself every day, doing things for your son every day, making sure you're doing fun things for your son, and then not having your own time to have a social life. Yeah, go out, have fun, party, do whatever you like to do in your social time. Go and socialize with people of your age group or people, even other mothers. And there are little groups and community groups for people that struggle with finding a social life after having children and things like that. There's all sorts out there for people like us to join in on. Yeah, just an average day in my life is hard work and it's tiring, but it's not impossible, and I definitely wouldn't change it. If I was to reflect back on the kind of lifestyle that I was living before, before going to university, I was at home every day. I'd wake up at 6 o'clock with the child. I would feed them. I would run around. I would do the washing up, do some washing, hoovering, clean up every day, feed the child again, play with the child a little bit, sit and watch some rubbish TV, and be back in bed by 9 o'clock, bath and bed. And it was like that every single day for about 2 years for me. And it just wasn't, I was mentally drained and I wasn't doing much with myself. I was always tired and exhausted. And I lost the will to want to go out and socialize and see people, and I kind of was living day in, day out with no kind of goal and nothing to achieve. As much as now university might be stressful and I find it hard sometimes meeting deadlines and I get worn down, at least there's always something that I'm aiming for. There's always a goal to achieve. It's never just a blank space in front of me, not really knowing where each day is heading. And so that is one of the most important parts, I think, with going back into education. Um, I do highly advise anyone that's in education to just go out there and do some research on what you can, on what's available for you and how you can get into it, or if you're already into it, see if there's any mother and child groups, or coffee groups, or any forums, or anything on Facebook. Um, there's all sorts out there, and you get to know parents from going to the nursery, maybe go to coffee mornings and that. Most of the parents, if you're if your child's in a nursery that's connected to the university, a lot of the parents that go there are either staff or students. So it's probably nice to get more involved with that university group of people that are also in a similar situation to you. But that's all about I have to say about that. Check out my blog. It's caitlin.deannaevans.coventry.domains, and I have some more information on there about being a student parent, and I have more information about the funding and things like that, and it goes a lot more into detail about where you can find funding and more information in about getting into university. Bye.